What's up, guys? Dylan from Digital Adventures here, and today we're going to be working on part 3 of making the classic Asteroids game in Scratch. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. We left part 2 with this code in the asteroid. We're actually going to be pretty much entirely working with the asteroid sprite today. We're not going to be going into any of the other sprites, just the asteroid. And our goal right now is to make it so that when we shoot an asteroid, they don't just disappear, they split into two smaller asteroids. Right now, they just disappear. So, this is going to be pretty easy at first, because what we can do is we can just go to control, and so this part of the code right here is where we kill the asteroid when it touches the laser. So obviously we can just create two clones, and that will work. So if I shoot the asteroid, you'll actually see there's multiple asteroids that now show up. But the problem is, number one, they're not smaller, and number two, they're not spawning at the location of the destroyed asteroid. They're spawning randomly, which is basically what we told it to do, right here. So let's focus on getting these asteroids to spawn at the location of the dead asteroid. The problem is we can't really tell the new clones to go to the location of the old asteroid right now, because we're actually deleting the old asteroid, right? So it doesn't exist anymore. So we're gonna have to create two variables that will actually remember the location, the X and Y coordinate of the dead asteroid. So we're going to make two variables. Let's call the first one dead X, and let's call the second one dead Y. So these variables represent the X coordinate and the Y coordinate of the dead asteroid. Okay. Now, before we actually use this, we're going to make it so that right when an asteroid clone is spawned, the size is cut in half. So it's literally half the size. So this is actually pretty easy. We're going to go to looks, and where is it? Set size. And obviously, instead of 100%, we're actually going to use a division block. And we're going to set the size to its current size divided by 2. So there's actually a block that's just called size. So we're setting the size to size divided by 2. Now, if you test your game out, you'll get all these tiny little asteroids, because right off the bat, we're shrinking them by half. So because we've done this, we actually need to change this block here. I'm going to increase the starting size to I'm not just going to double it. I'm actually going to multiply it by 2.5. So we are now setting the size to 100%. And then if you test your game again, you'll get these nice sized asteroids again. Okay. So the moment that the asteroid has been killed, we're going to set dead X and dead Y to the X and Y coordinate of the dead asteroid. So we're going to grab two set blocks like that. One's going to be set dead X, one's going to be set dead Y. And we're going to set them to the current X position and the current Y position, which is tracked by these built-in variables. So X position and Y position. I guess I didn't need these. Well, eventually I will, but it's okay. So right before we destroy the asteroid, we're basically first saving its coordinates to these variables. Instead of telling it to go to a random position, well, I want them to go to a random position when I start the game, but not when an asteroid is destroyed. So right at the beginning of this code here, we're actually going to have several if-else statements because, well, there's pretty much three possibilities. Either they're starting asteroids, they're half-size asteroids, or they're 1/8 size asteroids. So go ahead and go into control and grab an if then else block. And let's put it like here. Ooh, I don't want it to wrap around like that. So I can put it like that. Okay. So now I'm actually going to put the go to random position block in the trash. And I'm going to grab the go to XY block. And I'm going to replace these coordinates here with dead X and dead Y. Like that. Okay. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky. This is what happens if we destroy one of the larger asteroids. We want the new ones to spawn at the old X and Y coordinates. So this is fine. But if the asteroid is the smallest size, we have three sizes. If we shoot the smallest asteroid, we want to delete that clone. So I'm actually going to put a if statement inside of my other if statement, like that. And then here I'm going to check if the asteroid's size is less than 50. So I'm going to say if the size is less than 50, then I'm going to check in this if statement if the size is less than 13. And if it is, that means it's one of the smaller asteroids. So in that case, we actually want to destroy the clone. So we're going to go to operators and grab another less than block. And this time I'm checking if size is less than 13. If it's less than 13, well, then we're going to delete the clone because that means it's the smallest asteroid. So we want it to go away. If it's less than 50, but not smaller than 13, well, then we want them to go to the dead X and dead Y, right? So I just moved this block into the inside else statement. And then here is where we're actually going to put our old code, where we just tell it to go to a random location. Like that. So basically, when a clone spawns, there's three possibilities. Either it's a very large asteroid, so in that case, we just want them to go to a random position, or their size is between 13 and 50, in which case we want them to go to the location of the destroyed asteroid, or they're a super small asteroid, in which case we want them to delete. And you know what? One more thing. I'm actually going to, well, I'm going to point the new asteroids in a random direction. I actually removed these, but I'm going to put them back here. And so this should work. You guys might have different sizes for your asteroids, so you might have to play around with these numbers a little bit. But let's test this out. Ooh, we're getting a little bit of a problem here. It is kind of working, but my laser clone isn't deleting when it hits an asteroid, so it's causing it to basically destroy all the asteroids as soon as it turns into two smaller ones. So we're going to fix that real quick. So we're actually going to go to our laser sprite. And one thing we haven't done yet is we haven't told the laser to delete itself when it hits an asteroid. So let's do that real quick. It's basically going to look very, very similar to the code a lot of the code we've already done before. We're just going to say when green flag clicked, forever, if touching asteroid, whoops. If touching asteroid, then delete this clone. Now this code right here will actually cause some problems because for some reason the laser sometimes deletes a little bit too fast. So the collision detection doesn't have time to work. So real quick, we're actually going to put a wait 1 second block. And before we delete the laser clone, we're just going to wait for like a fraction of a second just to avoid that potential error. Okay, and I can hide these two variables. I don't need them on my screen. So here we go. Oh, I probably shouldn't die, so I can show you guys this. Oh my gosh, it works. So, oh, you know what I forgot? We actually, not when green flag clicked. We need to say when I started a clone. Sorry about that, guys. So now, my laser, oh geez. My laser should delete itself when it strikes an asteroid. Oh, terrible. Should probably put fewer asteroids. You guys also might want to go back to your asteroid and probably reduce the amount of asteroids because it gets a bit hard after you have like 5. So if I do this, so I now have these asteroids turning into 2 smaller asteroids, and then those turn into 2 teeny tiny asteroids. And notice how when I actually shot that really small one, it disappeared completely. So our code works. There they go. Oh wow, my aim is really off today. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you have good luck with your projects. This has been Dylan from Digital Adventures. I'm going to be back at you with some more content, some more Let's Build videos very soon. And so I'll see you next time.